Welcome back, everybody, to self-improvement.
It is.
And going back to that idea of handwriting being unique in a digital world,
Yeah.
isn't there a certain intentionality in choosing to write something by hand these days?
There is.
Yeah.
Think about the difference between a typed signature and a handwritten one.
Okay.
The handwritten signature carries a weight and authenticity that's difficult to replicate digitally.
Right.
It's like choosing to walk instead of drive.
Yeah.
It might take longer,
Right.
but it's a more deliberate and mindful experience.
And it allows you to express your personality in a way that's just not possible with a keyboard.
Exactly.
You're choosing to slow down, to connect with the physical act of writing, to create something tangible and personal.
And that brings us back to that idea of cursive being a personal choice rather than a necessity.
Okay.
It's not about conforming to a standard, but choosing to express yourself in a meaningful way.
It's like choosing to cook a meal from scratch instead of ordering takeout.
Right.
Sure, you can get a perfectly good meal either way, but when you cook it yourself, you're putting your own touch on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whether you choose to embrace cursive or not, the lessons from this deep dive, the value of relaxed control, deliberate practice and perseverance,
Right.
they're universal. They apply to any skill you want to master.
It's about understanding that the journey of learning itself is valuable,
Right.
and that mastery is a process, not an overnight transformation.
And that's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that our potential isn't fixed, but can be cultivated and expanded through effort and dedication.
Right.
We're all capable of learning and growing regardless of our starting point.
That's really inspiring. And it ties in perfectly with that final image. The source uses that dancing ant, evolving into a creature that runs smoothly and effortlessly.
I love that.
It reminds us that we all start somewhere, and with practice and patience, we can all achieve incredible things.
It's a beautiful reminder that the journey is just as important as the destination,
Yeah.
and that even those wobbly, imperfect steps we take at the beginning are valuable
Right.
because they're moving us forward.
Speaking of moving forward,
Yeah.
the source also talks about the importance of not just practicing those basic strokes,
Okay.
but also paying attention to the overall rhythm and flow of your handwriting. They compare it to a dancer learning to move gracefully across the stage.
And that's where things start to get really interesting.
Okay.
It's not just about forming the letters correctly,
Right.
but about connecting them in a way that feels fluid and harmonious.
It's like the difference between playing individual notes on a piano and playing a beautiful melody.
Exactly.
It's the connection between the notes that creates the music.
And the source even gives some tips on how to develop that flow.
Oh.
They talk about imagining an invisible line that your pen is following,
Okay.
like a dancer gliding across a stage.
That's a great visual.
Right.
So like you're choreographing your handwriting, creating a visual dance on the page.
Exactly.
And they also talk about the importance of maintaining a consistent angle,
Right.
even when you're connecting letters.
That's where that 45-degree angle we talked about earlier comes into play.
Okay.
It acts as a sort of anchor, ensuring that your letters flow smoothly and consistently.
It's like the foundation of a building.
Right.
If the foundation is strong and level, the entire structure will be stable and visually appealing.
And just like with any skill, the key to developing that flow is practice. The more you practice connecting letters smoothly, the more natural it will become.
It's like learning to ride a bike.
Exactly.
At first you're wobbly and unsure, but with practice you develop that sense of balance and momentum.
And as you become more confident, you can even start to experiment with different styles and flourishes,
Wow.
adding your own personal touch to your handwriting.
It's like learning the basic steps of a dance and then adding your own unique improvisations and personality to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot between following the rules and expressing your own creativity.
So even though the source emphasizes the importance of consistency,
Right.
they're not saying that everyone's handwriting should look exactly the same.
Not at all.
Right.
In fact, they celebrate the individuality of handwriting,
Okay.
comparing it to a fingerprint.
Wow.
They talk about how each person's handwriting is unique, reflecting their personality and style.
It's like how even though everyone learns the same alphabet,
Right.
we all develop our own unique way of writing those letters.
And that's what makes handwriting so special.
Yeah.
It's a form of self-expression that's both personal and universal.
It's like a language that everyone can understand, but each person speaks with their own accent.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And the source even goes on to talk about how handwriting can reveal aspects of our personality.
Okay.
They mention graphology, which is the study of handwriting analysis.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
I've heard that graphologists can tell a lot about a person just by looking at their handwriting.
Well, it's a controversial field,
Right.
and not all graphologists agree on the validity of the interpretations.
Sure.
But it's an interesting example of how handwriting can be seen as more than just a way of communicating words.
It's like saying that our handwriting is a window into our soul.
That's a bit dramatic, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it does suggest that our handwriting can be a reflection of our inner world.
And that's something to think about next time we pick up a pen, isn't it?
It
is. It's not just about putting words on paper,
Right.
but about expressing a part of ourselves.
Exactly. And whether you choose to pursue cursive or stick to print,
Yeah.
the act of writing by hand is a powerful tool for self-expression and creativity.
It's like choosing to paint a picture instead of taking a photograph.
Right.
Both capture a moment in time, but in different ways.
And just like a paint, your handwriting is a unique creation, a reflection of your individual style and personality.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of cursive, I think the biggest takeaway is that it's about so much more than just pretty letters.
It is.
It's about mastering a skill, expressing ourselves, and understanding the power of practice and perseverance.
And it's about appreciating the beauty of handwriting in a world that's becoming increasingly digital.
It's like choosing to walk instead of drive,
Right.
to cook a meal from scratch instead of ordering takeout, to create something with our own hands instead of relying on technology.
It's about slowing down, connecting with the physical world,
Yeah.
and expressing our individuality.
And those are valuable lessons no matter what skills we choose to pursue in life. It's like choosing the scenic route, even if it takes a little longer.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful way to sum up what we've learned about cursive today.
It is.
It's a reminder that sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination, and that mastering any skill requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to embrace the process.
It does.
And even if our listener never becomes a professional calligrapher,
Right.
they can still walk away from this deep dive with a renewed appreciation for the power of practice
Yeah.
and the incredible adaptability of the human brain.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that we're all capable of learning and growing no matter what challenges we face.
And I think what really resonated with me from the source was that sense of encouragement
Oh yeah.
that they conveyed. They talked about how even if your handwriting looks like a dancing ant at first, with perseverance, that ant will eventually start running smoothly across the page.
That image really stuck with me too.
Yeah.
It's such a great reminder that we all start somewhere and that progress takes time and effort.
And it's also a reminder that the journey itself can be enjoyable.
Right.
Even those wobbly lines and imperfect strokes are part of the process,
Yeah.
and they should be celebrated as signs of growth and learning.
I love that perspective. It's about embracing the imperfections and enjoying the ride.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe along the way you'll discover a newfound passion for the elegance and artistry of cursive writing itself.
And even if you don't, the lessons we've discussed today,
Right.
patience, practice, persistence,
Yeah,
they apply to any skill you want to develop.
exactly.
Whether it's playing an instrument, learning a new language, or even just trying to form a new habit.
Absolutely. These are universal principles that can help us achieve our goals
Right.
and reach our full potential in any area of life.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit of ground today.
We have.
From the mechanics of handwriting to the history of calligraphy,
Yeah.
and even the psychology of learning.
It's been fun.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It
And I hope our listener has walked away with a renewed appreciation for the art of cursive writing, as well as a sense of inspiration to pursue their own creative endeavors.
I hope so too.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
Okay.
Remember, even if your handwriting still resembles a dancing ant, keep practicing.
Right?
With enough persistence, even an ant can climb a mountain.
Love it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.